So here's my little talk on how to read and absorb our books for Lola. So I have here a stack. Let's start, this is just happens to be on top, with You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. So here's what I suggest. When you get the book from Amazon or the library or whatever you're going to do, open it up and start with the contents. So go ahead and look at the table of contents. I love to have either a pencil or little colored stickies so that I can mark pages. You could also do it with those cool, I don't have any right here, but they're like highlighting stickies that you can just, they're little tabs. Another thing I like to do is, this is from teaching days when we had very minimal supplies, just using a paper clip on the front of the page that I want to read. So you're going to start with a table of contents. What I want you to do is look through and get a general sense of what's happening with this book. What are the layers? What are the parts? What's the overall flow? How is it organized? Okay. And then using that as your guide, pick maybe 3 or 4 chapters or parts or areas that your body, you either get tingly or you get excited or you feel, sometimes it's like, because there's something in there that I know I really, it's time for me to hear or work through. So for example, let's look at here, this is a good one. In You Can Heal Your Life, when I see the daily work, chapter 9, I go right to page 87 and I'm going to peruse that. So for me, I'm going to put a little sticky and I'm going to look at chapter 9 and make sure that I read over it because I'm always looking at the daily work. What are the things that I want to be doing daily to be in alignment? So that's really important. So pick 3 or 4 chapters that look interesting to you and break them down using your stickies or your highlighter or your paper clips. We have a pencil. I just put mine downstairs, but so that if you want to write anything into the notes, or sometimes I put the date on the top of it of when I start reading it, or I can put little notes in it. Also, I can put a pencil and circle any of the chapters. The other thing, so then what I do after I get a sense, okay, what is this book? What is this about? What are these chapter areas? Then I go personally and I read the introduction. And this is great because this introduction for You Can Heal Your Life is really short and is very simple and it's beautiful. It's a really wonderful way to be introduced to how to use this book. A lot of times in the introduction and in the suggestions to your readers, which a lot of these books will have, it helps you understand how to navigate the thoughtfulness and the process behind how they structured the book. So I always start in the front and I do that. And then I go to the back and then I look and I see, okay, what's happening? So I usually look at the afterword. I might read it or I might just kind of peruse it. This one is so beautiful because there's so many gorgeous poems and just deep inspirational healing tools for you. And then I'll look, okay, what's happening? Is there an appendix? Are there some worksheets I want to copy from there? Are there some, like, what's the information at the end? What are the research? Is this research? Are there other articles I'm interested in? Who are the other authors? So here she has holistic healing recommendations, self-help resources, children's issues. This goes really deep into abuse, neglect, alcoholism. It's got a whole list for all over the world. Okay, so that gives me a sense of kind of where she's coming from. And then I'll just maybe peruse. I just kind of look quickly at the index and get a sense. Now, what happens here, this book specifically, the real gem, I just want to point out so that as you're kind of looking through and getting familiar with the book, having a relationship with it, is starting on page 145 and then going basically for the whole second half of the book is the reason you'll have this for life. This has what the physical symptom is and then what the affirmation is and what it might be connected to. So Let's look at, here's the colds. I opened up to the colds page. So colds, upper respiratory illness. It also says see respiratory ailments. So what is the background for colds? Too much going on at once, mental confusion and disorder, small hurts, or the belief, I get 3 colds every winter. And so then next to it, so it has the name of the symptom, it has the root, one of the root causes, and then next to it, affirmation. I allow my mind to relax and be at peace. Clarity and harmony are within me and around me, all is well. So this is how this book really becomes kind of next to your bed, or in your kitchen when stuff comes up. It helps you look at it from a social emotional perspective and then gives you an affirmation to work with whatever is physically manifesting. So the other chapters ahead of that are going to really help you in different ways. We'll get into it when we get into this book. So that's how you could look at You Can Heal Your Life. Let's use the same practices for happy, healthy, and sexy. Okay, so here's our Ayurveda book. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go right to the beginning. Oh, I just realized this is signed to Pleasance from Katie. So fun. I didn't realize that before. Okay, so we're going to open it up. Ayurvedic wisdom for modern women. All right, here's the contents. I'm going to see forward by Rod Stryker. Okay, well, what is the relevance? Well, I know Rod because he does the 4 desires. I know that Katie's a student of Rod. I really like Rod, so I'm going to read his introduction. That feels really interesting for me. His foreword. The next is introduction. So what the heck is Ayurveda? So if I didn't know anything about Ayurveda, I would definitely want to mark that as an area to learn. Part 1, philosophy. Part 2, healthy. Part 3, happy. Glowing goddess routines, boosting radiance. Part 4, sexy, Ayurveda sexuality and feminine vitality, tantra and conscious sex, cultivating energy. The power of your womb. Okay, so this is the section that I feel most interested in right now. I've been studying Ayurveda a long time, and I don't generally hear people talking about it. So I'm going to mark that. And because I already have a lot of background knowledge on these other areas, I'm going to go to the area and read the section that's most interesting to me. So I'm just kind of taking note. I really want to read from her perspective that section. Then I'm going to go to the back, like I said, and I'm going to see what's happening in the back. Ooh, nice. Okay, so after the acknowledgments, there's the closing, there's the acknowledgments. Then I get to appendix. Okay, so for me, I know a lot about Ayurveda, food, kitchen, setup, all that. So I'm not really that interested in reading the chapters around food prep and the basics of food, but I love new Ayurvedic recipes. So here in the back, here's some quinoa, here's some delicious open secret recipes, dandelion greens, spicy cauliflower, summer. Oh, good. So she's got some recipes and menu items for each season. Now that is interesting to me. That relates. I'm going to go right to that winter menu, late winter, and make some of these delicious, I've already, what's it called? Dog-eared, pigeon-eared? I can't remember. You know what I'm talking about. The side of the book for the recipes that I'm most interested in because I've already gone through this book. I'm just going through the motions with you all. Appendix B, herbs. Interesting. Kitchen remedies for sleeping. Okay, cool. So that's what's happening in the back of the book. I've got recipes. I've got pharmacy, kitchen herbs, how to make ghee, and then words. Let's have words. This is her FAQ section. Okay, great. I love reading FAQs. That helps me get a sense of where people are. This talks about brown rice, coffee, mung beans, almonds, gluten-free, kombucha. And then there's the note section and her research. As someone who loves to look at the research about Ayurveda and bring it into the world, I like to look at the note sections and see, am I familiar with those authors? Am I familiar with those books? I just, again, get a sense. There's a woman, I just watched her TED Talk the other day. So I'm just always making connections so that I'm building that confidence as I'm putting pieces together, letting go of resistance and really looking at how do these things connect? How do these things come alive in my life? Okay, cool. So now I've got a little bit of a plan, and then here's some more resources in the back. Awesome. There's where she gets her herbs, body care line for Abhyanga, and some recommended books. I've read most of those, oh, there's one I haven't read, so I might put that on a list for the future. Okay, cool. So that is an example of how to look through. So do the beginning, find your chapters and your contents you're interested in, and then go through the back and get a sense of what's back there. So as you're navigating the books throughout our time together, you know how to work with them. What other questions do you have on this? If you have any, post it below so that I can answer them. I hope this is helpful. Oh, one other thing I was going to say. I always, when I'm reading these books for learning and studying, I always have a notebook. I'm always taking handwritten notes with them. So even though I've got the book, then my brain, in order to imprint and integrate, I might pull out, like, so usually what I'll do is put on the top of the page, let me see if I can find one in here. Top of the page numbers or the chapter that I'm learning, and then I'll put my notes, like what are my biggest takeaways? Or I might put this specific journal is kind of a mix of things. So I might also just put the chapter or the pages on the top, and then underneath it, just put what my takeaways were from what I read from that day, just so that I have that kind of imprinting. I don't really see in here one that feels clean enough to show you, like it's kind of messy the way my brain can be sometimes. Let's see. See if I can find one. Oh, here's one. Okay, so this was, I was reading or listening to something about heart types for Enneagram. So I put heart types on top, and then I put what my reflection. So the heart types in Enneagram are 2, 3, and 4. And they yearn for relationship and connection with self and others and God. And I am a combination of all 3 heart types. So I had listened to something or read something about it, and then I put on top what it was, and then kind of what were 3 takeaways: gaining approval, the heart type giving identity, and then the identity as being the whole way of being, disintegrating and integrating. So these are just my notes that I took while I was reading that chapter or listening to that piece. So I say have a notebook until, well, I think always. You don't have to wait until you get it or don't get it, but it can be super helpful. Okay, hope that helps. Bye.